New Witcher smear campaign claims Henry Cavill was toxic and disrespectful to women, a trait he inherited from playing too many video games. I'm always saying this. Oh, this is narrativized. Oh no. The end of the year 2022 seems to be not such smooth sailing for Mission Impossible Fallout star Henry Cavill with his professional career. Was this written by a bot? Was this written by a bot? I think this was written by a bot. A lot of news articles aren't written by humans anymore. They just feed inputs into an AI. Has it really gotten that far? Yeah, that's been the case for years. I wanted to be a journalist, Vaush. That news is so upsetting. Well, it's not the case for all productions. It's just like clickbait stuff. It's one of the reasons that Google... Guys, have you ever, Googled some info, immediately realized that Google is just, using 7 subsystems at the top of the page to promote a bunch of spam lists and, websites created specifically to produce clickbait that gets to the top of Google, and then you add Reddit to the end of your search and get real humans talking about it? Those algorithms can be optimized for, and the bots write them. Overwhelmingly, the bots write them. That's why if you ever want real answers to anything, you look up Reddit at the end of any question and you'll get something better. It's not even because Reddit's an especially good website. It just has a larger ask and answer thing than Quora or whatever. And yeah, people pay for the top links and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot to it. Yeah, let me see if I can get another source because I feel like this thing is written by a bot. It's also poorly written if not. First of all, who thinks of Henry Cavill as Mission Impossible Fallout star? Number 1. Number 2, how is it not smooth sailing for his career? What? Okay. Here's a podcast transcript. Oh, God. All right. Well, we're looking at it, I guess. Okay, here we go. Here's the transcript. A podcast episode of Deus U podcast was released today where someone anonymously came forward and Henry Cavill really with Witcher and it's not pretty. Oh, shit. Okay, well, let's read it, I guess. Speaking of Reddit, I guess. Here's something I really, really wanted to read to you guys. It has to do with why Henry Cavill left The Witcher. I know that was something that you guys were super interested in when it happened. I just got the message. Somebody was like, hey, do you want to know what really went down? And I was like, sure, so let me just read it. It says, at the beginning of the show, Henry was good to work with. A lot of difficult demands that made people feel like he wasn't a team player, but that's not unusual for a really big star. Though in TV, it usually doesn't happen until the second season. But in seasons 2 and 3, something shifted, and he became really impossible for women to work with, which is always a big problem, but even worse here because the showrunner is a woman. He would try to overrule her and try to get changes made last minute across the board without her knowledge, which, if you know anything about showrunning, is completely fucked. The showrunner has to sign... Okay, here's the only context that I have coming into this, by the way. I remember reading this over a year ago. The showrunner for The Witcher does not care about the Witcher universe or fantasy. To her, it is literally just a job. She doesn't care about the source material. The source material is just a template upon which to build. Now, I say this as a fan of the Witcher series because not only did I play Witcher 3 like everyone else, but then I went and read the books, which are actually really good. I was really excited for the Netflix series, and it was pretty good, right? It wasn't bad at all, and Henry Cavill was great, but there were a lot of weird changes made, and it goes more off the rails with time, and, yeah, I can see the disregard for the original material there. So... Again, I better see some evidence of actual misogyny, or this is going to be I'm gonna do a rant at the end of this about the misappropriation of feminist terminology if I don't get something real, okay? The showrunner has to sign off on every minuscule detail down to the buttons in a costume. Female writers and directors were suddenly being completely ignored on set, unable to do their jobs. Suddenly being completely ignored by him alone? Directors, plural? Writers, plural? What? Was he directly interacting with the writers right there on set and arguing with them, but also with the showrunner? This doesn't mean anything without any more specifics. Every department head was complaining. He started making comments. It wasn't a sexual thing. He wasn't grabbing anyone or being lewd, but it was disrespectful and toxic all the same. So he started making comments, clarify there was nothing sexual harassy about it, but they were mean. What does this mean? This is, okay, right off the bat, this is a massive misappropriation of feminist terminology. So he had disagreements. Where's the evidence of misogyny? Yeah, it says every department, but then it talks about the women. You know what I mean? It would be it would be like if there were 20 writers or something, and one of them was Jewish, and it's yeah, Henry Cavill started disagreeing with the writing team. All of the Jewish writers just weren't able to talk with him. He was completely disregarding them and silencing them. But he just had a problem with the writing department. There's nothing about women here. Just women happen to be there. Hey, this is a quick lesson, real quick, to anyone who doesn't get it. The point of feminism, at least one of its points, is to like put women on the same social standing as men in like a bunch of ways, right? Like, you know, equal accessibility to work, you know, stuff like that, right? If that happens, like you have to realize you can no longer do this. He's going after women thing. You can't frame things in a way that suggests that any disagreement with a woman is exceptional because it's with a woman, while also wanting women to be normalized in workplaces. As a real feminist, I think you should be able to be like a giant dick to female coworkers as long as you're not doing it in a misogynistic way. That's fine. You can be a dick to coworkers. That's your God-given right. We're Americans, okay? Just don't do it in a misogynistic way. Just like just just do it in a normal way. I mean, don't be a dick to your coworkers if you can help it. I'm just saying it's not that's not the point. He is deeply addicted to video games. Hell yeah. To the point where it was like working with any other addict. He was distracted, he was late, he was obsessive, and a lot of people think the misogyny came from the gamer world. Video game bro language is not how you talk to coworkers, and he wouldn't stop. What did he say? Someone on the show compared it to watching someone get brainwashed by QAnon. Like his whole personality shifted. Eventually, his disrespect escalated. Holy shit! Yeah, he said PogChamp IRL. He said Pepe laugh IRL, and one of the female writers who exclusively reads BuzzFeed articles like clutched her heart in pain and started like typing up her yeah, like 4chan terminology. He would rewrite scenes without even alerting the other actors in the scene until it was time to shoot. He decided that he didn't want any romantic scenes at all, no kissing scenes, no shirtless scenes, etc. Hell yeah, dude. The original Witcher books are really not that tantalizing at all. I mean, Geralt gets around, yeah, but he's kind of like a wiry, like wolfish, like incel. In the he's not an incel. He's not like misogynist. Well, I guess it's like a medieval world, so he's kind of misogynist. He's not that misogynist. He's less misogynistic than everyone else, but he's still, yeah. He's just not like a ladies' man in the books. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like a guy, and he's there. And sometimes chicks really dig him because he's like, because women are just like that. Like, you can just be like a scrungly guy and show up smelling like shit and be like, yeah, sorry, I smell like shit. I just killed 18 wolves. And all the women will just like lose their shit. That's a woman thing. That's not, I don't know. He wanted complete control of storylines, but had no idea of the limitations of TV structure, budget, etc. He formed a weird alliance with one writer who was also a gamer. I'm betting this one writer was also somebody who gave a fuck about The Witcher as like an actual IP. We are so lucky that CD Projekt Red gave a shit about the original material when they made Witchers 1, 2, and 3. I haven't played Witchers 1 and 2. I've only seen the incredibly long video reviews of them by Joseph Anderson. I played like 200 hours of Witcher 3, and they are really faithful and really good, and I love them a lot. I mean, Witcher 1 and 2 are a lot rougher than 3, but still, you know, yeah, it's really wonderful when people do an adaptation and they care about the source material. Eventually, top brass at Netflix was tired of him costing them money with delays in HR investigations. Wow, that is a loaded term. So were some of the women going to HR to complain about him making comments? Obviously, it didn't come to anything, because if it had, they would talk about the HR like punishments or decision. Okay. And the showrunner was asked to construct a potential exit for him. Netflix reached out to him personally, and he was given one final warning and violated that warning with an email he sent to the entire writing staff right after the meeting. Damn! What a giga, Chad. That was it. It's very disappointing. So it sounds like, which is kind of shocking, that gaming video games was the demise of Henry Cavill. Dog, how are you going to say this about someone who literally everybody likes? What do you talk? Henry Cavill is one of the most unambiguously loved, like, mainstream stars right now, period. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Henry Cavill. Seriously. Everyone likes him. So wild, I never would have guessed that. Anyway, just wanted to read that for you guys. I know you're super interested when it happened. That's it. Okay. This is anti-gamer discrimination, man. For real. Holy shit. We need our own Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Vaush is unusually skeptical about this. No. The way all of this is framed is 100% sussy to begin with. It's not because I like Cavill in The Witcher. I do, and I am always full of bias. Everyone is. However, this transcript says nothing in so many words, and the leaps that it like takes, the jumps that it makes, indicates way more about the person giving this info than what they're actually saying about Henry Cavill. Again, if he had done something actually bad, they would have been able to give one specific incident of him doing something bad, you know? Literally, he was making comments. It was disrespectful and toxic. Like, give me a real word. Let's be real. Toxic means nothing when written by like liberal Hollywood types, okay? What do you actually mean? Like what well, okay, so it wasn't a sexual or lewd or whatever. Okay, so what why the charge of misogyny? What's that the Hollywood guy in Smiling Friends in the Mr. Frog episode? Like you're being toxic when he just like did nothing. Like he just said toxic like 50 times, you know? It's the vibes. You are charged with disagreeing with the woman. You are sentenced to death. If this report is true, Henry Cavill is trying to sell the narrative of he left the show because it was so inaccurate, and that's his way of outright dodging his misogynistic behavior. What misogyny? Okay. Pretty sure the writer mentioned here is Beau DeMayo. Okay. It's possible Cavill's a Vaush. God willing. The only bad thing here is him changing scenes on the spot. That seems egregious, but otherwise based. From a production standpoint, trying to change scenes on the spot is bad, but it's not the same as a person doing something like morally wrong. It's difficult to work with. However, being difficult to work with when you're an incredibly like wealthy, powerful, like A-list celebrity isn't exactly like Henry Cavill specific, especially if him being difficult to work with was being motivated by a genuine love of the source material, right? Like it's not exactly unheard of for actors to be difficult to work with. What I'm more interested in is like, was he doing it for a bad reason? Does it reveal anything negative about his character, you know? And we're only hearing one side of this as well. Imagine how much Henry Cavill might have said if he was a little bit more indiscreet. I hate how this is pure red meat to the quartering type Nazis, and this spineless worm says literally nothing. Yeah, it is really, 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 really frustrating that a lot of like Gamergate reject types are going to come away from this saying like, "Wow, real gamer Henry Cavill fake accused of misogyny by triggered SJW." The funny thing is, in this case, they're right. I hate it, but if that's the narrative they take from this, which they'd be idiots not to, that's actually correct. That's my takeaway. Yeah. It seems like a lot of people involved in production, or at the very least a few of them, are misappropriating feminist terminology to smear someone they don't like, and a lot of this literally is him being impugned for being a gamer. I can't believe that's actually what's happening here, but yeah, that is actually that is literally what's happening. They've said it's happened a million times, and this time it actually does seem to be happening. I'll be really disappointed if any more info comes out and it turns out Henry Cavill did like some fucked up stuff. If he was difficult to work with or like kind of irritable or sometimes rude, that's fine. Everyone is those things sometimes. It's more like you know, anything indicates real bad behavior, which I don't think it will, you know? I don't know Henry at all, obviously, but I've always gotten kind of the vibe that he's cool, right? Like he doesn't give me the impression of somebody who like acts nice for the benefit of his for his following, and then like, you know, but it's actually he's like a huge piece of shit underneath. Of course, you never really know. I don't know, obviously. It's just the impression. He just gives me just the impression of just like a cool, chill, nerdy guy who also happens to be disgustingly handsome and muscular. He has whatever the opposite of sex pest vibes are. Yeah, maybe. Sir Christopher Lee was also incredibly difficult to work with in Lord of the Rings. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a great parallel. Christopher Lee, another human being who nobody dislikes. I have no idea what kind of freak would dislike Christopher Lee. Was difficult to work with in Lord of the Rings because he respected the source material so much, which makes sense given the fact that he's about 100. Is he? Wait, actually, how close to 100 is he? He could be. Oh my god, he died. I completely forgot. I completely fucking forgot. I'm so sad right now. Holy shit. I completely forgot that he died. Oh my god, he died before I even went to uni. God damn it. Okay, well, he died at the age of 93? Wow. Born May 1922. Jesus Christ. He was a really cool guy. Everyone loved him. He would have been 100 if he was still here. Oh, you're right. He literally would have been 100 right now. Yeah, right now. Oh. Christopher Lee killed the fuck out of Nazis? Yes. He was Remember the time he held up the scene to tell everyone how someone actually reacts to being stabbed in the back because he killed people in World War II as a spy? Yeah, he was a wacky guy. He was a wacky dude. Oh, iconic for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah. He's got a whole storied military history. After killing time at RAF Kessler. My man. Sheesh. Lee met Tolkien in person. Well, Tolkien was World War One, right? Yeah. Cavill doing 40K. Okay, last thing. We'll wrap this up. Then we're talking about Elon. Yes, the failed dying star Henry Cavill, whose journey is over, according to that one person, is doing an Amazon 40K TV series. Which, you know, I really hope he can elevate it, because I have no faith at all, no faith whatsoever in a good 40K series. Surprisingly, a lot of that stuff does not get researched for him, and especially back in the day, when movies were made in a much smaller budget, they didn't really like spend on stuff like that. I think it was Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan that really upped the narrative expectation for realism in combat, I think. Show it? Wait, is there a preview? Oh, Christopher Lee refuses to scream in Lord of the Rings: The Two Okay, sure. Why not?
You ought to see me with the 357 Magnum. I'm awesome.
He would have won. In Lord of the Rings, he would have won if he had that.
When Wormtongue rises up and comes up behind Saruman to stab him, of course it was my job as director to talk to Christopher Lee and to explain to him what I wanted. So I started to go into this long explanation about what sort of sound he should make when he got stabbed.
I seem to recall that I did say to Peter, have you any idea of what kind of noise happens when somebody is stabbed in the back? And I said, well, because I do.
Oh, yeah. You see, it's not,
like that. It's because the breath's driven out of your body.
He proceeded to sort of talk about some very clandestine part of World War II.
He used to be in the British Secret Service, whatever they were called, the OSS.
He seemed to have expert knowledge of exactly the sort of noise that they make, and so I just sort of didn't push the subject any further.
Yeah, being Peter Jackson was like, okay, make this noise when you're stabbed, and then getting a 47-minute explanation from Christopher Lee on his 17 confirmed kills in you know, in the trenches or whatever. Just fucking Jesus Christ. You ever heard a Nazi get stabbed in the back? Yeah, no, it was fucking, oh my god. Christopher Lee had a damn sexy voice. Oh, Christopher Lee had an incredible, yeah. They're basing the 40K TV series off the Eisenhorn book series. Whoa, it's going to be off the Eisenhorn book series? Okay, that might actually be good then. Yeah. I was going to say, before I got distracted by that video, the only story I might want to see told in live action would have been one which is almost entirely about humans, and it's kind of like a gritty, I don't know, like noirish romp that doesn't take the setting that seriously, but like follows a narrative path for a couple of characters rather than like some big epic war tale. Horus Heresy? No. Do you have any idea how cringy Horus Heresy would be in a fucking live action set? Do you seriously want to see like a 24-foot tall Horus with like a face like poorly tracked onto like a giant animatronic? Like no. Okay. Let's keep it sensible, all right? Pull it back. Yes? Okay. Well, Henry Cavill is going to be Eisenhorn, right? Okay, Henry Cavill gets to be this guy. Can we get a good picture of Eisenhorn, please? Is that okay? Tools, size, large, just like me. Thank you. There we go. That's Eisenhorn. This is the least armored you can be legally in the 40K universe. If you ever wear less armor than this as a human, you're considered naked, and it's indecent exposure. Inquisitor? Yeah, he's an Inquisitor. I could see Henry as an Inquisitor. Yeah, so I guess the TV series will be with him as Eisenhorn. That'll be really good. Basically, imagine a detective story. Okay, wait, hold on, I've got it. Here's what the TV series is going to be, okay? Are you ready for it? Okay? Imagine the oh fuck, what am I blanking on? It's like the main cyberpunk movie. Everyone's seen it. They made a sequel a couple years ago. It was really good as well. Blade Runner. It was like, imagine Blade Runner, except the main character is 3 times the size and carrying basically like a partially deconstructed tank. And he also has psychic powers. and he's a gumshoe, and he's following the lead to try to unearth like black magic death cults that have infiltrated society, and he has more legal authority than God, the literal, actual legal authority to nuke a planet from orbit if he wants to. That's the Inquisitor special right there. If they ever really don't like a seafood restaurant or whatever, they've just got a watch they can like. And every imperial ship in orbit will just like shrug and start letting the nukes fall. It's good. Yeah, it's basically Judge Dredd, but like highly escalated with more emphasis put on psychic shenanigans, supernatural abilities, and detective work. Last chance to speak, Hector. What, the fucking Gustavo Fring interrogation scene, but with Eisenhorn holding his finger over the exterminatus button. Like, fuck, last chance to give up the Chaos Cult, Hector. Fuck, it's just end the flat. So a buster call? Yeah, it's a buster call, but planetary. Last chance to look at me, Hector, as the nukes are falling. Ah, God. You think Cavill should look like the first Eisenhorn? That's Eisenhorn after he's older. This is him when he's younger. Sorry, I was showing an older pic of him. Look, he's got a big book. He's got a gun. You know, they're going to scale down the outfit for the live action stuff, and that's probably fine. But if ever they were going to find a guy who could fill these pauldrons, Henry Cavill would be the man. What's in the book? The books are actually pretty fun, I think. As somebody who generally has a low opinion of 40K literature, I do have a high opinion of the Eisenhorn series. It gets better with time, too. He painted Warhammer miniatures in his spare time? Hell yeah. What's in Eisenhorn's book? Oh, you mean the content of that book. That's the fuck book, right? Or this is the not the Necronomicon. It's the one he got from that Chaos Cult. Can summon a demon, very dangerous. That one, right? It's very dangerous. It's the Death Note, okay? It's very not good. Basically, every 40K story about humans does the same like bit over and over again, which is that humans will encounter something created by chaos, which is basically like the gods of evil, and some people will say, dude, we could use this to like kill aliens. That'd be so sick. And other people will be like, we shouldn't use this. It was made by God specifically to trick and ensnare us. Let's not do that. And the pull between those two 24/7, it's in every fucking story. Yeah, a general rule, if you're a human in the 40K universe, is just don't read. Legit, just be illiterate. No, for real, just literally be illiterate, okay? 98% of the time in any of those fucking stories, if a member of the Imperium opens up a book and reads anything, they're already pulled in. It's fucking over for them, okay? So just, yeah, outsmart the Chaos Gods, become illiterate. It's the only thing that can keep you safe. If I was a human in the 40K universe, I'd just kill myself? Yes! Good idea. Yes! Andrew Tate's a genius, but in the wrong world. Dude, oh my... Holy shit! Andrew Tate in the Imperium. What a fucking bit. Like a high-level Inquisitor because he's immune to chaos corruption because he refuses to read. So, and he's doing like the DSL shit every time his compatriot, you know, he, another Inquisitor falls to chaos or whatever, and he's like, yeah, that's why I don't, yeah. That's why I told you, don't read. You know, what do I say? Immune to chaos corruption and hates women, yeah. The 40K universe, can feel pretty sexless at times because the main characters tend to be space marines and they're all chemically castrated. I guess the amount of sexism really depends on like where you are in the Imperium. Can you explain how magic works for the Warhammer orcs again? I don't think Eisenhorn encounters orcs, or at least not in any significant numbers. But basically, for the orcs, if they're very stupid, and if they believe something hard enough, they can make that reality just through like sheer stupidity. Like if 10,000 of them really want a car to run, it'll probably run. If they think that red paint makes it faster, it'll move faster. They pull psychic energy from the warp through sheer like idiot belief, which makes them very dangerous. You know, just like the communards in Disco Elysium. Well, the orcs are communist in 40K. That is true. No sex, no gender, no race. Well, kind of. They're mean to some of the captured races. You know, a purely collectivist attitude towards helping each other do WAS or whatever. All right, that's enough. End the segment. We're gonna do a whole 40K thing. Look, I'm excited to see what Henry Cavill does, and my conclusion is I don't think he's a sexist, or if he is, he's doing it in like a cool gamer way. Okay, okay. Pull it out. Pull it out.